Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this program, Our Moments with God, our moments with the Word of God, our moments with the love, mercy, and compassion of God, our moments also with the commandments and the statutes and decrees that God gives us, has given already through Moses to that generation, and through Jesus continues to give us. Let us spend those moments also with those things that have been given to us in this manner, so that when we observe those commandments, we may have life, as the reading says. And I invite you also to share the videos with others and ask your friends to subscribe to the channel. I am told that I should do this. And these days, I just want to mention that many people are unable to open the videos when they click on the status. I don't know what has happened, but many people have complained to me. So I'm requesting you that if you really want to go to my videos, please go to YouTube. And if you have not yet subscribed, subscribe and press the bell icon so that you will automatically get them. Otherwise, go and type on YouTube Father Dominic Emmanuel. Quite a few people from here, Austria, as well as India and other places, they have informed me that they're unable to open by clicking on the status my videos. Thank you. So today Moses tells people, listen, O Israel, I am giving you decrees and statutes that are given to me by God. Observe them, follow them, and you will have life, and you will live, and you will be entering into the promised land that God has given you. So Moses was given certain commandments. Also, the first parents, Adam and Eve, were given a command not to eat of the fruit of the tree in the middle of the garden, but they disobeyed. And God, knowing that human beings are weak, that we often fall into this kind of situations and break the law of the Lord, He is again using Moses to give the commandments and the decrees. And Moses is quite clearly saying to please observe these decrees and the statutes that he is giving, which is coming from God. And then we know very well that he goes to Mount Sinai, and there he is also given the 10 commandments, which are the fundamental basis of all the commandments and rules that the Lord gives us to observe. So that is the beginning. Remember, this is right in the beginning after creation, and God was leading people, and Moses was sent there to help Israelites to come out of the land of slavery, Egypt, etc. So they needed constantly to be told to observe the law, which we too need to remember always. And this Lenten season is especially the time when we have to constantly remind ourselves of observing the law, or if we have gone away or gone astray from the law, then we need to come back to the law. And in the gospel, here, the wonderful face of Jesus, Jesus is telling, don't think that I have come to abolish the law. This law which Moses has given to those people, Jesus is saying, don't think that I have come to abolish it. I have come to fulfill it. Of course, sometimes you may get confused if you really follow the gospel, that sometimes the disciples of Jesus are breaking some of the traditions that were there. For example, eating on the Sabbath, or he himself curing people and making them carry their bedding, and the Pharisees object to it, that it is forbidden on the Sabbath day to do something, and your disciples are breaking. So on the one hand, you find that some of the disciples are breaking, and Jesus himself is encouraging or telling them that don't you feed your cow or your sheep when it is also Sabbath? No, you do that. So is the son of an Israelite or a daughter of Israelite not more important for you? So, but there is no contradiction in that. We may think like that if we think. No, certain things are law and commandments and decrees and statutes. There are other things which are traditions. like washing of the hands. That is a tradition. That is not a commandment. So please distinguish between commandment and traditions. Traditions are man-made. They come up because of the circumstances, because of certain culture, because of certain weather conditions. It can be many reasons. But traditions are not laws. Jesus is not talking about those. But Jesus is saying, I have come to fulfill the law. Now remember, that is also very important. Not just to observe the law, Jesus says, I have come to fulfill the law. Yes, those were the laws given in the Old Testament. And that's why St. Paul also says, don't be slave to those laws, but follow the law that Jesus gives us. He fulfills the law not by simply strictly observing the law per se, but he brings the law to a higher level. That is the law of love, the law of mercy, the law of compassion, the law of forgiveness. 7 times 70? No. Seven times must I forgive? Peter asked Jesus just the other day. No, not 7 times, but 70 times 7. Means you need to keep on forgiving. And love above all. Forgive above all. Don't criticize. Don't judge people with your standards and all. This is the fulfillment of the law. Earlier it was said, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. But I say to you this, that is the law that Jesus is fulfilling. Let us approach Jesus and stick to what Jesus is saying, and in His name, let us also perform good deeds, particularly in this time of Lent. We are asked to fast, pray, and do works of charity. Charity is what ultimately is the criteria which will help us enter the kingdom of heaven. And if you like, you may please subscribe to this channel. Thank you.